Blessed are the pure in heart. Hello and welcome to Some Assembly Required, our podcast here at Wainfleet BIC Church, where we discuss life through the lens of our Anabaptist roots. My name's Julie Adams, and I'm joined by Pastor Renee Kiewit. Welcome, Pastor Renee.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, glad to be together here on this. Well, I guess we're into August now. We are really into it, almost halfway done.
Serious into it.
Seriously into it now.
I feel like it's gone really fast.
It has.
This is the 6th Beatitude, and we had an intro, so this is the 7th week already.
Wow.
It feels wild to me.
It does feel wild.
It's kind of you want the summer to linger.
Yes.
But I haven't wanted the heat to linger, I'll be honest.
It has been pretty toasty this summer. I don't remember a time when we've had the windows closed and the air conditioning on so many times as we have in this summer.
Yeah.
But
the July electric bill came yesterday, and it also reiterated the heat was an issue this year. Oh dear.
Funny.
But it has been fun this summer. I love having our kids as part of our services.
Me too.
And them engaging and interacting with sort of the object lesson each week, and being part of our worship and just that family natureness of our summer service is just really exciting. And so I've just really enjoyed that as I sort of look back over the weeks. And this week, each child left this Sunday with a pair of binoculars.
Yes.
Seriously.
Handmade pair of binoculars.
Handmade. Thank you for your toilet paper rolls, those of you who brought them in. To sort of prove the point. And so this week was Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. And I started thinking about sort of I can get really distracted by a lot of things. And so just have this narrow focus is sometimes tricky. And so I was thinking about when I was a kid and I was trying to learn how to play baseball. And I had double vision as a child. I had multiple issues with my eyes as a kid. And I had double vision. So I learned how to play baseball when I could see two baseballs coming towards me. Oh, wow. And I learned which one was the real one.
Tough to watch. Huh.
But it was definitely tough. My dad was patient. He pitched 1,000 pitches. But I remember thinking, okay, what does a coach say? And probably in other sports too, although I didn't play a lot of other sports, but baseball was one, was like, keep your eye
on the ball.
Keep your eye on the ball.
Yes.
Keep that sort of like narrow focus. Why? Like, why are we supposed to keep our eye on the ball?
Well, because that's the goal. Right. That's what you want to get to.
So we can hit it or kick it or
catch it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Even when you're catching, like I would often play in the field. And you're not just running frivolously with your, glove hand out, hoping for the best. You are like tracking with your eyes, and you're running you're always sort of keeping your eyes on the ball. And so with the kids to sort of extend that metaphor and helping them see that when we keep our singular focus on God, it allows us to be pure in heart, and it allows us to continue to see God more readily. The Beatitude is saying it's blessing us when we are. It's not saying you won't see God if you aren't pure in heart.
Okay.
So don't undo it like in the negative. Like we can sometimes undo things, right? In a sort of a negative sense. But that as we sort of keep a narrow focus on God, keep our goals, sort of our marked goals, making God the singular focus of our heart, our mind, our affection, we are going to see God more readily at work in our life and at work in other people's lives. And so it helps us to not be distracted. So when you put binoculars on, and FYI, if you wear glasses, it doesn't work just to put your hands up to if you put your hands up to your eyes. Yep. And Julie doesn't have glasses on, so she just can only see straight ahead. Yes. But I actually, because my glasses are off my face, allows me to see side to side.
You almost need to put
the metaphor only works if you take your glasses off. You can't see all the things around you.
Yeah. It's true.
When you're, and like I was thinking of Brad Reinhardt, he's a big birder. Well, the skis are Alan and Sharon ski, and they've heavily influenced their son-in-law. And Natalie likes it too, but probably not as much. Probably not as much as all the rest of them. And when you are looking, you're through binoculars. You're not distracted by all the other things that might be around, because you're you're focused on finding and seeing this whatever it is, this one particular bird. So I think a lot about sort of that, the metaphor of using binoculars to allow us to stay pure in heart, allows us to stay focused, and it allows us to see God. As we have that sort of like singular focus. When we have a divided focus, we're all over the place. Like I like to believe that I'm a very good multitasker.
Yes.
But when I am multitasking all over the place,
it spreads your resources a little bit thinner, doesn't it?
Mercy. Yes. And sometimes it's hard to actually like
dial in on what you're,
Right. And so while I think it's a strength to be a multitasker, I think it has every strength has a dark side or a downside.
Yep.
And a downside is trying to stay sort of really focused in and dialed in. It can be really tricky. And so this idea of being sort of understanding that our single purpose or our goal is to accomplish God's will for his glory. Like if we could think the pure in heart, I sort of, as a summation, there's lots of ways to sort of think about pure in heart, but I love this sort of like single line. To be pure in heart is to have a single goal of accomplishing God's will for his glory. So it's about God's will and God's glory, not my will and his glory, or my glory and his will, right? And so we looked at the story of Joseph in the Bible. He was so focused on God that even in the midst of temptation with Potiphar's wife, he just remained so narrowly, single-mindedly focused on accomplishing God's will and for God's glory. And he ends up going to jail because Potiphar's wife is sneaky. And again, in jail, his singular focus doesn't change. He still is there to honor God. And in the midst of doing that, God is glorified through him. He's given like charge of the jail, like a prisoner is given essentially charge of the jail.
That's a very strange thought, right? Isn't it? Yeah.
Because he stayed pure in heart, focused on God and focused on God's will. And so I think this beatitude, I find it very challenging.
Yeah.
To the degree that I can feel quite scattered and all over the place. And how do we stay narrowly focused? But if our beginning of the day, as we remind ourselves, what are we doing anything for? How are we living our lives? It's for God. Then I think all of the other things can fall in line too, right? So to be pure in heart is, first of all, not to be perfect. Joseph wasn't. David wasn't. And the Psalm of David that the girls read yesterday or on Sunday, from Psalm 27:4, sort of reflects that heart, that pure in heart. It says, I am asking the Lord for only one thing. Only one thing. So it's like, again, that sort of singular mindedness. Here's what I want. I want to live in the house of the Lord all the days of my life. I want to look at the beauty of the Lord. I want to worship in his temple. So if that's kind of our starting point, Jesus is saying with this beatitude, with this as your starting point, you will see God.
Yeah.
He will not be hidden from you, because when you want what the Lord wants, and when that is your sort of singular focus, you will see God all over the place.
Yeah.
And so you will see God when you go and get groceries and different people that you meet. You will see God as you drop off your kids in the school bus line or whatever. You will see God in your workplace with your coworkers, in maybe creativity that they show you, or I don't know what they're going to show you, but you will see God all over the place when you're solely focused and your sole desire is to live in the house of the Lord, to worship him and to see his beauty. So I think it's like this beatitude is like this shifting in our minds, like a resettling of priorities kind of thing, right? Trying to be, resettle. Okay, wait a minute. What am I here for? Okay, actually, I'm here to glorify God. Like, I've been put on this earth to love the Lord and glorify him. And I can do that in all the normal things I'm doing.
Yes.
So it doesn't say, the pure in heart, they don't go to work and they don't do all these things and they just sit and pray all day. No. The pure in heart see God in all the things that they're doing.
Yeah.
Right? If you look at Joseph's story, if you look at David's story, if you look at, Mary and Martha.
Yes.
In the New Testament. I talked about them as well. Where is Mary?
She's the one in the kitchen. No, she's the one sitting at Jesus' feet.
Right.
Sorry, I switched them.
No, that's okay. She has that singular focus.
Yes.
And Martha's like, dude, like, I am doing all the work. Like, come and help me. And Jesus reminds Martha, actually, like, Mary's reflecting a pure in heart spirit here. Now, my trouble is I'm like so Martha, right? Like, you and I are like trying to get all the details and things sorted out.
Yep.
And sometimes I can't, I won't say I can't. Sometimes I don't allow myself to stay in that singular focus because I think, these things are really important. They probably need to be done.
Yeah.
But it's a good reminder. It's not that Martha couldn't have been preparing things with Jesus in mind, but she had this moment where Jesus was teaching and she chose to not be right with him in that moment to do some other things that were also important, but maybe the most important thing. Like sometimes there's two really good options.
Yeah.
And neither of them are bad, but one might be.
And part of it too, maybe was cultural for her.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That, she was like, oh, we shouldn't be here because so maybe Mary, like, come on, let's be proper.
And Jesus is reminding Martha too, like, actually,
I
this is the most proper thing, right? Like and so I loved looking at that story again with just that reflection of Mary showing this single-minded focus on Jesus. There are other things that have to happen, yes. And I'm not saying abandon all of these other things.
No.
And Mary didn't abandon it forever either.
No.
For a period of time, she sat at Jesus' feet. And that was her main focus. That was her, that was her main focus. So I love these examples in Scripture. They're varying examples of how people lived pure in heart in a variety of situations. Like Joseph was kidnapped by his brothers and then sold and then ends up in jail. None of those life situations stopped him from being pure in heart, which we could probably just
give up.
Say no. David, gosh, he's all over the map with purity and impurity, and also is reflecting this pure in heart, and Mary as well. And so I think this this challenge in my head, it's like the beginning. It's got to be like the first thing of the day where I am reorienting my mind. Okay, what's my singular purpose today? What is my singular goal? My singular purpose as a follower of Jesus is to accomplish God's will and to glorify God in that. Allow him to be glorified in it. What does that look like at home with my family? What does that look like in my workplace? What does that look like when I go to appointments? What does that look like when I'm out with my kids in the evening for sports? What does it look like when I'm visiting with friends? Because it doesn't stop in any of those situations. And so this single-minded focus on God's will and his glory is a reflection of our hearts. And so to be pure in heart is to sort of be working towards, moving towards that. We're not going to be perfect. None of my examples in Scripture were perfect, right?
No.
Look, they can't be, they're human, but it is sort of a working towards that as our desire. I see it as part of our sanctification, or the part of us becoming more and more like Jesus. I don't know that there are levels of purity in heart, but I think there is a growing, if that's a better way to say it.
Sure.
Just like we are growing in our Christ-likeness or growing in our sanctification to one day become.
Well, a lot of these things take practice, right? Like to see God in situations. If you're, like you said, if you're not looking for him, you're probably going to miss a lot of them. You might, if it like smacks you in the face, one of those moments, but otherwise you could easily miss them through the day. But you have to, I think you do have to, like you said, be looking for it and then once you're looking for it enough, it becomes second nature.
Yes. Because I think about
more habitual.
Yes. I think about some older people in the church who it just seemed so easy for them to be focused on God's will and accomplishing God's will and glory. Like their single-mindedness was so, it wasn't easy for them, but it seemed easy as to me, as I watched them, I just thought as they got older, well, why? The question is, why did it seem easier? Because they journeyed with Jesus for years and years and years, and they practiced. Just like you said, right?
Develop that muscle of
of journeying with Jesus. And so as we become more like Jesus, it changes our hearts, and our purity in heart grows. It is easier to not worry about me getting the glory, but God getting the glory as I journey, right? Like, so those, and I think again, like we say frequently with these Beatitudes, this blessing that Jesus is sharing with this crowd of oppressed, outsider, outcasts, you know, who probably see the impurity of heart in people who have, we would say, climbed the ladder or been successful or cheated people to get to where they are at. And seeing, man, like some of those people who are impure in heart seem to be kind of successful, and right. And we can get a little bit. And so Jesus says, just whoa. Let me just reshape this for you. Like, let me help you see the priority here. Yeah. The priority here is single-mindedness on accomplishing God's will for his glory. It's not about me. It's not about my success, whatever that even means. It's not about my level of wealth, my level of education, my level of whatever. Pure in heart is what matters, and we will see God. Like, the blessing of being able to see God is overwhelming. Yeah. Right. And people work hard and hard and hard to feel satisfied and to, I don't know, feel a sense of worth. And yet this beatitude is saying, when we are singularly focused, we're going to see God. That is all of our sense of worth. That's all of who we are in seeing God. That would fill us to the full, right? Yeah. And so it's just, it's another good reminder and a good challenge. All of these Beatitudes, they're challenging.
Yes, they are.
They are challenging to live out. But I love that Jesus is saying, like, this is the good life. This is the blessing. This is like if you live like this is going to be like the good life. I know it's not what the rest of the world thinks is the good life, but this is the sweet spot. That is the challenge for this week.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Pastor Renee, for that challenge. Does that wrap it up for you?
I think so.
Yep. Okay, great.
Keep our eyes focused, get a pair of binoculars, and help that to remind you the object lesson, staying focused.
Perfect. Thank you very much. If you'd like to get in touch with Pastor Renee, you can reach her at renee@waynefleetbic.com. My email address is julie@waynefleetbic.com. And we thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to continuing our Beatitudes series next week. If you are still considering baptism, we have a baptism service coming up on August the 24th. If that's resonating with you, or if you're curious about it, please reach out to Pastor Renee or Pastor Trevor. Any of our pastoral staff would be happy to talk with you about that some more. And so thank you for tuning in. We look forward to connecting with you next week. Have a great week.